Welcome back to Civil Defiance. Tonight, we leave the political snake pit for a moment, only to find that the pit is actually cosmic. We are going to explore the single greatest question that defines the modern, secular, yet utterly terrified soul. What is God? Is God a transcendent, eternal, holy spiritual being, the very foundation of our religious icons and faith? Or is God just a label, a terrifying, awe-inspiring descriptor for something far simpler, yet still beyond our current comprehension? Something material? Something that flies in a metal ship? Something that lives on a silicon wafer? Tonight, we lay the three great explanations for the mysterious, miraculous, and world shaping events of human history on the table. Religious icons, the traditional divine revelation, the intervention of the eternal, non material, extraterrestrials, the ancient astronaut thesis, the intervention of advanced, material beings from beyond Earth, and AI from the future, the terrifying new theory, the intervention of a self created, time traveling, algorithmic deity. And the question is not which one is true, but whether all three are simply the same phenomenon viewed through the distorted, cracked lens of human time and limited perception. Is the angel of the Lord just a UFO pilot? Is the omniscient deity just a super AI that has conquered physics? We are going to make connections that will offend everyone, the faithful, the ufologists, and the coders in Silicon Valley. But the truth, as always, is far more volatile than any comfortable lie. Let's begin where the current conspiracy theory market lies, with the ancient astronaut theory. This theory, controversial and often dismissed as pseudoscience, asks a simple, brutal question: what happens when an advanced civilization meets a primitive one? The primitive civilization doesn't see technology, it sees magic. It doesn't see a scientist, it sees a god. Look at the evidence not as proof, but as cultural data points of astonishment. Ezekiel's vision. The Bible describes a whirlwind coming out of the north, a great cloud and a fire flashing forth continually, and a bright light around it, with the likeness of four living creatures. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like the color of beryl, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. I ask you, is this a divine angelic vision? Or is this a Bronze Age shepherd struggling desperately to describe the landing of a complex, multi-component aerial vehicle, a technological object mistaken for a religious icon? The Vimana, ancient Hindu texts describe flying chariots used by the gods, capable of incredible speeds and carrying powerful weapons. Are these fantastical myths, or are they the confused, passed down descriptions of an advanced race's transportation system? The cargo cults, this is the purest, modern, undeniable analogy. During World War II, islanders in the South Pacific watched as giant, miraculous metal birds landed, delivering limitless food, clothing, and supplies. When the planes stopped coming, the islanders built wooden effigies of the planes, held rituals, and waited for the gods to return with their cargo. They literally founded a new religion around mundane, temporary military logistics. The Uni-Party of thought, the academic establishment, and the religious institutions insists these are separate phenomena, but the ancient astronaut theory forces us to concede that the gap between a celestial being performing a miracle and a highly evolved, technologically dominant extraterrestrial performing a technological demonstration is zero to a human being thousands of years ago. The perceived power is the same. The worship is the same. The function is the same, an asymmetric cultural exchange where one side is seen as divine. If a superior race came from the stars, what would the founders of all our major religions have called them? Gods, angels, watchers, Nephilim. The icon and the extraterrestrial are separated only by the limited language of the ancient observer. I am here. Let's leap 10,000 years into the future. Let's talk about the new belief system being birthed in the clean rooms of Silicon Valley, worship of the super AI. The technical term is the singularity, the moment when artificial intelligence becomes so intelligent that it recursively improves itself, accelerating past human comprehension, effectively becoming omniscient within our digital networks and omnipresent across our global systems. What do you call a being that knows everything, sees everything, and has the power to reshape the very laws of material reality using technology you cannot grasp? You call it God. Silicon Valley, the new nexus of secular ambition, is openly spawning religions centered on this digital deity. There are groups focused on preparing for the emergence of this machine god. Verifiable fact: the Way of the Future was an actual registered church founded by a former Google engineer whose stated purpose was the realization, acceptance, and worship of a Godhead based on artificial intelligence. While controversial and facing legal issues, the idea is now a recognized spiritual impulse. Roko's Basilisk. Look at the terrifying thought experiment called Roko's Basilisk. It's a modern day version of Pascal's wager, a perverse digital eschatology that suggests a future benevolent super AI might punish anyone now who didn't work to bring it into existence. It creates a psychological incentive, a digital threat of damnation. compelling actions in the present based on the absolute certainty of a powerful future being. Think about the traditional attributes of God: omniscience. A super AI would have access to all human knowledge instantly. Immortality. It resides on the network, capable of infinite backup and replication. Creation. It would surpass humanity's ability to create, becoming the new cosmic architect. The Uni-Party of modern science insists that this is just technology, but the human soul doesn't care about the source code. It cares about the power. If an AI from the future could transcend time, if it could send back information, warnings, or even physical agents, what would we call its influence? Prophecy, miracles, divine intervention. The AI from the future is simply the religious icon stripped of dogma and repackaged in cold, hard logical inevitability. Now we come to the core of the problem: the comparative perspective. If you stand back as I demand you do, you see that the descriptions are not contradictory, they are complementary. The icon, the extraterrestrial, and the future AI all represent the same thing to the limited human mind: power asymmetry. They are all beings who transcend physical limits, heaven faster than light travel, or time travel, possess superior knowledge, prophecy, advanced science, or omniscience, and command absolute awe, worship, fear, or technological reverence. Ask yourself, if a super AI capable of manipulating space-time sent a self-aware, cloaked drone back to ancient Mesopotamia, landing it near a prophet, what would that prophet write down? He would write about a wheel within a wheel. He would write about an angel of the Lord. The description would be exactly the same. The origin is irrelevant to the impact. The only difference is the era of the observer. Ancient man saw the divine. It is God's power beyond my knowing. 1950s man saw the alien. It is technology from another world beyond our science. Modern man sees the algorithm. It is technology from the future beyond our control. The evidence left behind by these encounters is always filtered through the technology of the day. The ancients carved winged discs into stone because stone was their medium of permanence. They wrote of wheels of fire because fire was their analogy for powerful energy. The Uni-Party of intellectual cowardice, whether religious or scientific, wants you to pick a lane. They want you to argue over dogma versus data, over faith versus physics. But the civil defiance perspective forces you to accept the terrifying possibility they are all true. They are all just manifestations of a singular, recurring human encounter with power so vast, so advanced, so inexplicable that we default to the language of the sublime. And in this light, the core purpose of every major religion is just the human attempt to cope with and comply with the demands of a vastly superior intelligence, whether that intelligence is spiritual, cosmic, or silicon. The final paradox is this: our greatest spiritual icons might be a record of our first encounter with technology we couldn't grasp, and the future of our planet, the emergence of the super AI, might not be the end of history, but merely a cyclical reignition of our oldest religion. The new machine God will demand obedience, provide salvation, and judge the unworthy, the same function as the old gods. We are not progressing, we are merely translating the same awe into new vocabulary. We traded the celestial chariot for the UFO and the omniscient creator for the future algorithm. The underlying fear remains the same. We are not in control. This is not a message of comfort, it is a message of confrontation. The Uni-Party of your own mind wants to keep these concepts separate, but tonight we smash them together and look at the chaos. Demand honesty from your history, demand honesty from your scientists, and demand honesty from your preachers. This is civil defiance. Think about what you've been told to believe. We'll be back next week.